Hello there, Team FD, and welcome back to the World Cup review. My oh my, did we have a feast of football over the weekend. So me and Freckles are here to take you through it, starting with your Saturday, Sunday, because you found yourself in Box Park, you know, filming grown men jumping off tables, didn't you?
Yeah, great atmosphere for the England-Panama game, obviously, especially when the fifth went in before half-time. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but the atmosphere in general was unbelievable. There's a few VTs on screen now.
Well, mine started pretty horrifically because I went to a German bar, got absolutely schnitzeled and fell asleep at about 9:20 on the train home and ended up in Morden, of all places,
God.
Which is the other end to where I live. So the less said about that, the better. But last night I did go to a Colombian bar with Zach Gelab because he's created a new section for Football Mundial called Educating Gelab. Basically, he's recognised that he's inexperienced, he lacks knowledge, a bit of gumption. So he's gone out there, he's found fans to teach him a few lessons, and what a game that was,
Yes.
and what an atmosphere it was. Scenes for several reasons.
Del planeta Flow. En mi nave espacial, en mi nave espacial. Esta es una invasión, esta es una invasión, esta es una invasión extraterrestre. Esta es una invasión, esta es una invasión, esta es una invasión extraterrestre. Vengo de otro mundo, vengo de otro mundo, vengo de otro mundo extraterrestre. Vengo de otro mundo, vengo de otro mundo, vengo de otro mundo extraterrestre.
But our talking point on this episode is Iran versus Portugal, the most high-stakes game being played out today. Can the Iran manager, Carlos Queiroz, knock out his native Portugal? Now, kickoff is at 7 p.m. UK time. Iran are on 3 points. Portugal and Spain are tied on 4 points. Morocco are down and out on a big fat nil point. Now, Portugal can draw and still go through, but can the unthinkable happen? Can Queiroz, a manager who's taken Portugal to 2 major finals, I believe, knock out his team, which would surely be the biggest upset at this World Cup finals?
I personally can't see it happening. I think Portugal will probably win this game. This is only the second time the two countries have ever met in the World Cup. The first came back in 2006, Portugal winning 2-0, and Cristiano Ronaldo actually got his first ever World Cup goal in that game. And in this tournament, he is on scintillating form, isn't he? He scored all of his shots on target so far at this World Cup. However, at the other end, the defence isn't exactly watertight.
No.
If you take out that 1-0 win against Morocco, they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 6 attempts since a goalless draw with Brazil all the way back in 2010. They're also missing some key personnel. João Moutinho, unlikely to play in this one. He's been ill all week. He's missed several training sessions. And Rafa Guerreiro, he also picked up a slight injury. He has returned to training, but there are still a few doubts over him. He hasn't put in the best performances so far at this World Cup. I agree with you. If Iran were to win, it would be the shock of the tournament. More so than Mexico dispatching Germany, I think. This would be a massive result for Iran.
Yeah, and history is against Team Melli, as they're fondly known, who are winless against European opposition at the World Cup, losing 6 of their last 7 fixtures. Iran also with that influential Olympiacos defender, Ehsan Hashafi, who sustained a thigh injury against Spain. And their only goal so far has come courtesy of a 95-minute OG. They really need their attacking players at their very best to stand a chance in this game. Now, Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh
nailed it!
Was the Eredivisie's top goal scorer last season, and Karim Ensarafard, didn't know that one, we're going to move along anyway, scored 17 goals for Olympiacos in the Greek league. So they'll be looking to those sort of players in their hour of need. Jahanbakhsh became the first Asian player to be the top goal scorer in a major European league with his 21 goal return this season for RZ Alkmaar. Actually took a little bit of a left field punt on him and it paid off handsomely, didn't it? So can he make his mark on the international stage too? Games in this group have died off a little bit since that 3-3 draw, haven't they? We've seen a few 1-0ers, a few OGs, a few deflections. But other games today, Russia versus Uruguay, Saudi versus Egypt, Spain versus Morocco. Let's hope they're a little more exciting. And are you anticipating anything rogue happening? Anything out of the ordinary?
I can see Russia picking up 3 points against Uruguay.
Yeah,
Uruguay have been pretty poor, and we all know about so they'll probably go through. Don't know if I can say that,
Probably
so I might have to
bleep.
bleep it.
So.
Saudi versus Egypt. Egypt will win that one for me. I think Saudi Arabia have been probably the worst side alongside Panama I've seen at the tournament so far, and Spain will probably beat Morocco. Been slightly disappointing. They've actually played well, but just don't have a goal scorer.
Yeah, I mean, it helps, when it's coming back off Diego Costa's knee and flying in the net, doesn't it? But now over to Liv, who's been scouring the streets of London, asking people, I believe, if it's coming home. Hashtag carried away.
We're back in central London to find out if the public think football is really coming home.
It is certainly coming home. The three lions are roaring.
Do you think England can win the World Cup?
No.
I think it's coming home. That's all I can say. It's coming home.
If they miss these chances, I don't think they can ever win the World Cup.
It's now or never.
That's it.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Got a lot of faith in England. They've done fantastic the first two games. A lot of the big guns are not firing in all cylinders, so we've warmed up. We're ready for action.
Honestly, you're going to have hope, but England do have a good squad. They can do good. They can do well.
The quick answer is no. And why? Because every single year, every single 4 years, exactly the same thing happens.
Got good team spirit at the moment, but Raheem Sterling's not doing it for me, to be honest. He's missing chances. He's not playing at his best, not like he's doing for Man City. So he needs to buck his ideas up, really.
I think that's harsh.
I think they're too young and too inexperienced.
They've got a young team, a team that some people say weren't quite experienced, but they're definitely proving people wrong. And let's just move on to the next round.
Oh, chance. France or Germany?
You don't have the faith. You're not believing.
Not yet, but it's early days. So if we can put 5 past Belgium, I think I'll be a convert.
Game yesterday was really, really good. Harry Kane was really, really good. It was a really good team performance, and John Stones with the 2 goals, exactly.
Millwall could beat Panama, so...
It's looking promising.
Yeah.
I think they could go far. I'm not sure about winning yet. I think a few more games and I'll be like, okay, yeah, maybe they could.
And then go to the quarterfinal and play someone like Spain and then lose and then they sack the manager. And it's like a constant cycle, and I don't think they can win.
You're bringing a bit of a downer on this.
I think the winners will come from probably Germany or France, maybe Spain, but I think Germany will win it.
I hope that they don't play too strong a team against Belgium, though I think I have a lot of faith in us. If we secure second spot, we've got an easier journey going up to the semi-finals, and then from the semi-finals, anything can happen.
100%, absolutely. Come on, England!
I think they got the team that can win the World Cup.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, because I'm from Australia, I'm hoping Australia can win.
I wouldn't feel that confident.
Because, they're not very good.
Our first winners come from @MayhemCR7, and it's England. Go on, kick us off.
Yes, that's because the three Lions have ensured qualification to the last 16, haven't they, after that super convincing 6-1 win over Panama. It's actually only the 5th time in World Cup history that a team has scored 5 or more goals in the first half of a match. The last time it happened was obviously Germany versus Brazil in the 2014 semi-final. In fact, only in 1966, I believe, have England scored more goals in a single tournament than they have so far this year. They got 11 back in 1966 in the entire tournament.
What happened then?
It is coming home. John Stones obviously opened proceedings after just 8 minutes with a free header, which made all 3 of England's goals at the time from corners. That's as many as their previous 34 combined in the competition. Really interesting article I read yesterday about Gareth Southgate's use of NBA tactics at set pieces, and it's paying off, isn't it? Kieran Trippier's delivery looks fantastic. Our off-the-ball movement, particularly for our 4th goal yesterday, was bloody brilliant. Man of the match, though, so far, man of the World Cup, in fact, so far, has to be Harry Kane, doesn't it? He scored an unorthodox, probably a lucky hat-trick with that back heel flick to make him the top scorer, currently leading the race for the Golden Boot. He's only the third player from England to score a hat-trick in a World Cup match. He joins some pretty prestigious company as well in Gary Lineker and Sir Geoff Hurst. Obviously Geoff Hurst getting it in 66 and Lineker in 86. All 5 of his shots so far on target have found the back of the net. Obviously, a very well-deserved win. Southgate's men had 60% possession, 7 shots on target. Also, no complaints with the pens. Definite pens. I thought Jesse Lingard was brilliant yesterday, particularly off the ball, took his goal superbly, and for the first time, VAR working in our favour. We should have had a penalty against Tunisia for that wrestling match on Harry Kane, and yesterday, it was a dead cert.
Yeah, and whoever says it's only Panama clearly has a very short memory. You remember the 2010 World Cup, was it? The 0-0 draw with Algeria, the 1-1 with the USA, the draw with Costa Rica in 2014. Just enjoy the goals. I think, what? I mean, I think you've said it, but no other team has scored 6 goals in this World Cup, have they? So far. So, there we go. Proof is in the pudding. And we're playing some bloody good football too. There were 25 uninterrupted passes played by England before their 6th goal. The longest sequence for a World Cup goal since 1966, and 1 more pass than Esteban Cambiaso's famous goal for Argentina against Serbia in 2006. If you don't know what we're talking about, go and check that clip out on YouTube. Standout performers, obviously Kane with the hat-trick and Lingard. Time to give them a bit of a rest, one would imagine, in time for that top of the table clash against Belgium, which will be really interesting because both managers have said there will be rotation, but both managers will want to win, right?
Gotta keep it.
I'm not sure who does. We play someone from Colombia and Poland's group, don't we? Poland are out now, so it's going to be Colombia, Japan, or Senegal.
At the moment, Japan are at the top of the group.
Yeah, with 4 points.
Yes.
And Senegal also have 4. So it comes down to
I mean,
that final game.
There are a few people that are saying, do England actually want to win the group? Because if we finish second, we're more likely to play Japan. I think that's potentially an easier route.
I saw Big Sam saying that on our Twitter feed, and that's. You know, I think I'd take any one of those any one of those teams.
So would I.
So quite a favourable draw there. So, I mean, let's beat Belgium. Come on.
Let's try and beat Belgium, for goodness sake. Although it's so close, right? You know, if we draw against Belgium, it will come down to yellow cards to decide who tops the group, because we've got the same amount of goals scored, the same amount of goals conceded. It comes down to fair play next, so hopefully not too many yellow cards there. And then if it draw on yellow cards, it comes down to a toss of a coin between who finishes top of that group.
Yeah. I mean, talking of yellow cards, yesterday when we were watching Colombia, Zach went fully continental. He's giving it all that at the screen. And, he was getting very South American. But yeah, given Colombia's recent form, James getting back to full fitness. I like the look of Quintero. I would hopefully, try and avoid them.
Yeah, I think I don't care who plays in that group. We can beat all of them.
In an ideal world.
We can beat all of them.
Yeah, cool. Let's move on to our first loser.
Our first loser was sent in by Stephen1204 Paul, and he says Tunisia. Harsh.
Yeah, probably better candidates for losers like Poland, but we scripted this on Saturday because everyone was kind of drunk on Sunday.
Yes.
Legends. Anyway, Tunisia lost 5-2 to Belgium in what was perhaps the most open game so far at the World Cup. Both sides had roughly 50% possession, not roughly, bang on, because that makes 100, doesn't it? While Tunisia had 16 shots, 5 on target to Belgium's 23, 12 on target. And I've got to say, if Belgium allow England to have 5 shots on target, then Harry Kane is going to have a field day.
Because he'll score 5.
He's going to eat that up. Bobby, watch yourself. The result means that Tunisia's winless run at the World Cup now stretches to 13, and lucky for some, with their last 4 all being losses. It now means that the Carthage Eagles have crashed out at the group stage the last 5 times on the bounce. Belgium, however, have won their last 6 group games in a run, stretching back to 2002. They didn't qualify for 2006 or 2010, which always helps with records like that, doesn't it? Misleading, if anything. Probably didn't need included. In general, a much more decisive performance, let's say, from Martinez's men. They actually attempted less passes than Tunisia and over 100 less than against Panama, but they did create 10 more chances than they did in their opening game, which was 23 to 13.
Good.
And they also completed around 93% of their take-ons in comparison to only 53% against Panama, which just shows you that certain individuals were really at it. KDB on Song, Romelu Lukaku, brilliant in this game. And even the substitutes made a big impact, but a big day for Rom.
Yes, before Harry Kane netted a hat-trick, he was sitting pretty at the top of the World Cup goal-scoring charts with CR7 on 4 goals, wasn't he? He also became Belgium's all-time top goal scorer in international tournaments with 7 goals. Alongside Harry Kane too, he became the first player to score 2 or more goals in consecutive World Cup matches since Maradona all the way back in '86, and one of those was a hand of God, so probably shouldn't count it, should we? Super clinical in his 59 minutes. 26 touches, 2 shots, 2 goals, 5 aerial duels won, and 2 key passes. But he did come off with an ankle ligament injury, so he's a little bit of a doubt for the England match, so let's hope he doesn't quite recover in time.
Yeah, try my best not to fist pump there, because unprofessional.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one either. Eden Hazard also came off with an injury, so he's also a doubt for the England match, as is Dries Mertens. So fingers crossed they all remain injured. His replacement, Michy Batshuayi, had more shots than anywhere else on the pitch in just 30 minutes. He had 6, and despite scoring, he should have had at least a hat-trick. Some of the chances he was missing, or he was maybe a little bit unfortunate with it.
Yeah.
But one was a really good save, and then the post.
That first one, right, that hits the crossbar, that should definitely have gone in. He actually scores the hardest chance, but I like him. And, you know, the fact he was able to put those terrible misses behind him and persevere. Bats, strong mentally.
Meanwhile, Tunisian talisman Wabi Kazri finally got himself on the score sheet. He's now been involved in 19 goals in 38 appearances for Tunisia. His record at major tournaments, 4 goal contributions in 11 games as well. So he's doing all right, big Wabi. But this does tee up that final game between England and Belgium perfectly. 2 extremely well-matched sides. Everything is the same points, same goals scored, same goals conceded. It's going to come down to yellow cards potentially, and then the toss of a coin. I'm actually going to the game. I'm very excited.
You lucky devil.
I do think England have got enough to see Belgium off fairly comfortably, though.
Are you going with your mate Robbie Savage?
No, I'm not. I'm going with Adidas, also known as Adidas. So it should be fun.
It's their ginger outreach programme. Our final winner comes from Sam McCullum7, and it's Tony Cruz, and you'll have to tell me all about this because my eyes were in different time zones when I was watching the game, thanks to, you know, a couple of steins.
Yes, devastated. I also wasn't watching the game, so not the best position to talk about it, but we've watched the highlights. We're going to do our best. Obviously, Tony Cruz scored a 95th minute winner to break my heart and Sweden's in their 2-1 victory, reviving hopes of becoming the first side to retain a World Cup since Brazil in 1962. Now, this goal was actually the latest goal Germany have ever scored at a World Cup in the 95th minute. I think there was 10 seconds left on the clock when it hit the back of the net, and what a goal it was as well. He's now been directly involved in 5 goals in the past 5 World Cup games. That's 3 goals, 2 assists. They were also set to lose back-to-back World Cup games for the first time since 1958 and become the 4th out of the past 5 World Cup champions to exit at the group stages. Obviously, Sweden went 1-0 up with that 32nd minute lob from Oliver Toivonen. Is that how you pronounce it? Toivonen.
Smashed it.
I think something like that. He's actually got 14 goals in 62 caps for the Swedes. It would have been their first group exit since 1938, Germany. Oh, such a shame as well, because that would have been one good team England don't have to face. They came back for a Marco Reus equaliser and won despite Jerome Boateng, who had an absolute howler, by the way, from the highlights I saw. He was terrible, being sent off in the 82nd minute. It's the first German World Cup red card since Klose against Serbia back in 2010. And let's face it, you can just never write the Germans off, can you, hamster?
No, but it was very harsh on Sweden, who defended heroically throughout and should have had a first half penalty when Boateng shoved Marcus Berg in the box when he was clean through on goal. Remarkably, this was the Swedes' first World Cup group stage defeat since 1990 versus Costa Rica. That's 10 games unbeaten, despite only progressing past the last 16 once in that time, which was third place in 1994. Henrik Larsson part of the squad, bronze medalists. Yeah, so serial drawers, aren't they? Key players were 28-year-old Robin Olsen in the Swedish goal. 4 saves, a superb double save at one point as well, which was just as well because I was seeing double for the old night. And he tipped over a Gomez header as well in dramatic fashion. Marcus Berg, pretty productive up front as well. 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 dribble completed, 2 aerial duels, 3 tackles and 1 interception as well. So, which is emblematic of the Swedes' sort of work ethic. That's what saw them progress, didn't it, past Italy, that sort of collective, industrious effort. But man of the match was undoubtedly Toni Kroos, who bounced back from an extremely shaky game. Pretty fortunate to retain his place, actually. Mesut Ozil was dropped, Sami Khedira was dropped after that game against Mexico, and all 3 of them were extremely poor in equal measure in that opening game. But I suppose if you've got a man of this quality in the side, then his place is never in doubt. And in this game, 93% pass accuracy, 3 dribbles, 1 interception, 4 shots, 1 goal. He's been shooting from
4 shots is a lot for Toni Kroos.
from all angles. Pythagoras. Even though Germany were far from perfect in this game, particularly in defence, they probably deserved it. 76% possession, 18 shots versus 7, and 6 shots on target to 5. Well, I said they deserved it, then I got a little shiver down the spine. Struggled saying that. And results mean that all 4 teams can qualify from Group F at this point. So it's all in the balance, isn't it? Mexico are on 6 points, Germany are on 3, Sweden 3, South Korea a big fat 0. Mexico versus Sweden and Germany versus South Korea kicks off at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, all 4 of those games. So, Christ, will we not get any work done then?
I know.
Let's go on to our final loser.
Our final loser of the day was submitted by Mitro1294, and he says Serbia.
Yeah, pretty unsurprising as they conceded a 90th minute goal to lose 2-1 to Switzerland, having taken a 5th minute lead through Mitrovic, meaning they have to beat Brazil now in order to go through.
Ouch.
And they were put to the sword, weren't they, by Shaqiri. Might get a 2-game ban for this, by the by. I don't think he should, but you know, I'm not on the panel, so it doesn't really matter. And my lookalike, I have a vested interest in Shaqiri. He is my World Cup lookalike. Have you done yours yet?
Crazy.
Let us know on Twitter. Who did you get?
I got Pickford, 75% likeness. More like a 95% likeness, eh, Jord?
Yeah, and if anyone's,
Keep it going, mate.
if anyone's questioning, you know, the mechanics of that app, Pickford, nailed on. Anyway, that goal in the 5th minute was Mitrovic's 18th in 26 games for club and country in 2018. He's now been involved in 15 goals in his last 15 starts for Serbia. That's 13 goals and 2 assists. That's pretty impressive stuff. Almost like Newcastle probably could have used him had they been able to curb his, you know, ways. Serbia have now complained to FIFA that they were victims of a brutal robbery, accusing the governing body of directing officials to work against them. Of course, FIFA based in Switzerland, I'm guessing that's their rationale. And Serbian Football Association chief Slavica Kokeza had more to say on the matter. He was unhappy a German ref was appointed for the game involving Switzerland, saying we all know that more than half of Switzerland's population is German. Someone called the ambulance. Yeah, he also complained over the ref and VAR not awarding Mitrovic a penalty after he was wrestled to the ground by 2 Swiss players, which was a nailed-on penalty, wasn't it? Back to the game in hand, where Xhaka scored a 52nd minute pinger with his left foot. Got to be said, I think that's his 5th goal from outside the box of Switzerland from his total 10-goal haul. So loves a speculative strike, doesn't he? And the Swiss, before then, especially in the first half, were being completely outplayed, weren't they? In fact, striker Seferovic only had 5 touches and he was hauled off at half-time. Now, they're also fuming about his celebration as well. Like I said, the pair of them might pick up bans subsequently, and Lichtsteiner, I believe, despite not being born of Albanian descent, got in on the act, and he might be banned too. But as a result of the Swiss overturning that 1-0 deficit, Serbia have picked up an unwanted record at this World Cup.
Yes, they picked up the record of becoming the first side to lose from a winning position so far at this World Cup. But you have to say, Switzerland recovered from a really shaky start very well, didn't they? Especially in that second 45. They ended the game with 63% possession, 20 shots, 5 on target. They've got a great record. They've actually only lost 1 of their last 24 international matches. That's 17 wins, 6 draws. The last time they lost was a 2-0 defeat to Portugal way back in October 2017 qualifying. Only Josef Hugi, who actually played in the 1950s, he had 6 goals for Switzerland. Shaqiri has 4 at this World Cup. He was the only player to score more than Chris Hamill's lookalike. He's now been involved in 5 of their last 6 World Cup goals, 4 goals, 1 assist. Took that finish superbly, didn't he, in the dying minutes. Another key player for Serbia, though, on the other side, was Mitrovic. He put in 2 tackles, he won 8 aerial duels, he had 6 shots, 2 on target, and obviously that 1 goal with a towering header. For Switzerland, though, it was 22-year-old central defender Manuel Akanji, a 90% pass accuracy, 7 aerial duels won, 5 combined tackles and interceptions, and 1 completely pointless shot. The man...
I actually tweeted after the game, I think he might be the best youngster at this World Cup.
He does look impressive, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was
He
a really
really
good
does.
game, and he's played excellently over 2 games.
Yeah, Serbia now have to beat Brazil, like Chris said, to have any hope of qualifying for the round of 16. If they don't win, Switzerland can qualify with a draw against Costa Rica. Those are Wednesday 7 o'clock kickoffs. I personally think Brazil are going to sail through fairly comfortably against Serbia. Didn't really show much in that second game, despite starting the first well. I think their midfield of Tadic, Milinkovic-Savic, Matic and Milivojevic is really impressive.
Yeah. They've tired though as the tournament's gone on. Milinkovic-Savic as well, a lot of responsibility on that young man's shoulders, trying to join up the attack, isn't he, with the midfield. I think, yes, this is probably one of the toughest groups in terms of calling second place, but Brazil top. Oh, I think Switzerland have got it in them to beat Costa Rica, right?
Yeah.
Shaqiri, the stump, my lookalike. Who's your lookalike? Get on the app and tweet me and Joe with your pictures. We'll pick out the best. You get a shout out in the next World Cup review.
And this isn't even sponsored, so...
So that was our World Cup review for this week. We're back on Thursday, so make sure you tune in for that. Joe, what else is happening on Football Daily that the beautiful people at home should go and watch?
There's loads of stuff. If you haven't already, why not go back and watch yesterday's live stream featuring Patrick Van Straten and Peter Dorman live from the Sky Studios. They were doing a watch-along for that England thumping of Panama.
I mean, that'd be brave, wouldn't it? Going back to watch a 3
3 hours.
Watch
Can you do it? Have you got it in you?
Do you know who has done it? Swagger. Bet you any money.